Yo, I need to make this video because I need to talk about Zani because she broke Wuthering Waves meta. And even Kuro's number one bot, Saintontis, doesn't even know about the true potential this character has. A lot of people want to say that she's inflexible, but the truth is that she's potentially even more flexible than most of the main DPS in this game for one simple reason. If we come down to a character I never play and everyone says you have to play, Verena, who's a support, we have had a meta in this game where if you want to play someone like Gian, right? Well, you're kind of forced to play Mortefi, so he's pretty inflexible just from a sub DPS standpoint. But then on top of that, from a support standpoint, you pretty much have to run Verena or Shorekeeper. Now, other characters, their main DPS, have different options for their sub DPS. But when it comes to their support, it pretty much just comes down to Verena or Shorekeeper or Baija as like a last resort, right? The thing about Zani, though, is that most of the damage on a Zani team is going to come from Zani. Even if you're running her with someone like Spectral Rover, he's going to do more damage than Confession Phoebe, but your majority damage is coming from Zani. So because of that, the sub DPS that's providing the Blaze isn't really going to benefit from the healer as much. And on top of that, if you're running Spectral Rover, you're going to run Rejuve anyway, so you wouldn't be running Shorekeeper. But for someone like Confession Phoebe, her outro skill doesn't go away when swapped. It lasts 30 seconds, and then Confession Phoebe herself does very little damage. So because of those two factors for Confession Phoebe, if you're running Confession Phoebe for Zani, which is her better partner from a sub DPS standpoint, the actual damage your support would normally be giving for most main DPS teams, for a Zani team with Confession Phoebe is effectively like 50% value. You can think of it as the standard hyper carry teams are 100% value, the dual carry teams are like 150% value, and then the Zani Phoebe team is only 50% value. And what this ends up doing is if we come back out here, you can see, oh, what was that? Beat the Dragon of Dirge with Calcharo instead of Shorekeeper with Zani and Phoebe. And then over here, as you can see, beat the third stage with Spectral Rover, Zhang Liao, and Zani. Now, of course, these teams are going to be more sweaty than Shorekeeper, so it's going to be harder to play. But then there's another character that you can run, which is Mortefi. And, I guess I could just do a little quick showcase of it. But the thing with Mortefi is he is essentially going to be equal to Shorekeeper on a Phoebe team, because he is going to provide more individual buffs than Shorekeeper would, and the buffs that Shorekeeper provides might as well be individual. So that's why. And you run Empyrean Anthem because you got to run Moonlight on Phoebe. So I'll just start real quick, just to give a little quick demonstration. You just want to get your Concerto up to nearly full. Okay. Then you want to pop your Phoebe stuff, do your Phoebe rotation. This guy's going to be a baby and just do his little dodge stuff. Come on, let me do my thing. All right. Here we go. Now we switch. Do this. Gonna probably have to dodge. Then I switch to Mortefi, and I do that and that, so I can get his ult off. Then I can go into Zani, so I can get this off. Then I pop her ult, and now I have all the buffs going, and I'm gonna do wombo damage. He kind of delayed that. He's kind of annoying, but whatever. As you can see, I just do insane damage. The damage you would do on a Shorekeeper team. Even though my Mortefi with the coordinated attacks against this guy aren't as effective because he's fire resistant, my Zani the buffs that she gets are just so good that it doesn't even matter. So even on a boss where there's fusion resistance, the buffs are still gonna be just as good as the buffs you get from someone like Shorekeeper. And then against a boss that isn't fusion resistant, this build might even be better than a Shorekeeper build. There we go, get that off. Doesn't even matter if I... Oh, shit. Okay, I guess I needed to dodge there. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to have footage of 3 different builds. The Shorekeeper build, the Mortefi build, and then also Sanhua. Because yes, Sanhua is another 3rd slot character you can run. And what you do is you run her with a blue weapon so that she can trigger the Rejuvenating Glow set. And then you also run Fallacy, so she can still provide a 25% attack buff. And then if you ever S6, which I don't, but if you did, then you get another 20%. So she can provide effectively the same attack buff that Verena would provide to the whole team, but just without the 15% all damage up. But at the same time, she's going to have extremely fast field time, and then you can also swap cancel her with Zani because there's not going to be any outro skills you have to worry about losing. So you can effectively make her field time non-existent, which just makes the actual time that you save enough that she can compete with Shorekeeper and Mortefi. And the footage I'm going to show, she's even going to beat the Mortefi and the Shorekeeper team, which are about equal, on the Dragon to Dirge fight, because if it's just single target and it's just a burst fight, she does better, but against like ads, then the Mortefi and the Shorekeeper do better. So, and I don't even have that S6. So if I had S6, she might even be the best, but I'm not sure. But the problem is that Sanhua is good for so many other teams that you kind of want to use her on other teams, while with Mortefi, he's only really good for Gian right now. So if you use him on the Zani Phoebe team, he can be a good replacement, a good substitute if you're lacking Shorekeeper or you don't want to play Verena like me or whatever. You know, you're like, I want to make use of my Mortefi, maybe I don't have Gian. Whatever the case is, now you have a way to make use of your Mortefi as essentially a support character for your Zani Phoebe team. But yeah, I think that this is the strength, really, of Zani, and I guess Phoebe to some extent, but we only had Spectra Rover. Now we have Spectra Rover and Phoebe for Zani, so it's a little bit better. Which is that you don't have to run Verena, you don't have to run Shorekeeper, you don't have to run Baija, and it's not going to be some massive DPS loss. It's actually potentially going to be a DPS increase. And I think that's better for the game, because having like 5 Shorekeepers and 5 Verenas and 5 Carlottas and 5 Gions and stuff, which is usually what happens in these gacha games, because, you know, balancing a gacha game is a lot harder than balancing a lot of other live service games where there's an expectation that the next character is going to be worth your investment. So to balance the game the way they've done, you got to give Kuro credit, because they've managed to make not only all the characters relevant in the meta, but they've also made sure that Shorekeeper's, you know, power in the meta isn't as oppressive as it was back in 1.3, and especially with Verena's. Verena was the most oppressive character in 1.0. I didn't want to play her because I don't want to play lolly characters. So I was at a massive handicap for like the first like couple months of the game, probably like the first 6 months of the game. I couldn't get like full 30 out of 30 clears in the tower. And I was like, but I'm not going to play a lolly just to get that. So now I can get full 30 out of 30 clears, and I can do it even without Shorekeeper. And Zani is just made that even more possible, because it's another character in my repertoire of characters that I can do that with. And she's the one that benefits the most from it because she is basically all the damage, and you can swap cancel, so you can run dual DPS. You can do so much with her. And yeah, so the inflexibility of Zani, like I said, I think it's arguable. If you argue, like, compare her to Gian or something, she's way more flexible than Gian. Gian is very limited in what he can run for his teammates, like, compared to Zani, where you can run way more different team comps. It's just, you are going to have to at least run Spectra Rover or Phoebe. You're going to have to run at least one of those characters. But everything else is up to you. Unlike with a lot of other teams where it's always Verena or Shorekeeper. So in a sec, you're going to see the 3 different footages of this floor of the tower, this floor of the tower, and then the 2 middle floors of the tower. And there's going to be 3 clears going on for each one. And it's going to be a Sanhua team with Zani and Phoebe, a Mortefi team with Zani and Phoebe, and a Shorekeeper team with Zani and Phoebe. And we'll compare all the times. And again, the average of the Mortefi and the Shorekeeper one is they're about equal right now. I could get more investment in my Mortefi. I can't really get much more investment on my Shorekeeper. If I go to my characters real quick just to show them off, I guess. Shorekeeper, as you can see, I have her SIG and her gear's good enough. And I also have her S1. So I guess the S2 is the only other thing I get. But my Mortefi doesn't even have a R5 stack miss. So I could get more going to that. Could put more into his echoes, get more crit damage and stuff. But I do have his S6 and all that. So can invest a little bit more. But at the end of the day, he's equal to my Shorekeeper right now. And then the Sanhua, obviously, if I get her S6, she's going to be even better and could potentially be the best depending on the boss you're against. If it's single target and you're able to just do your combos and not have to worry about enemies running away or the boss doing a bunch of attacks that like kills your Sanhua in the middle of her rotation or something, then you should be fine. So yeah, the footage will be in a sec. And hopefully this helps you realize that Zani actually isn't bad for the game. She is one of the best things for the game. And Kuro should be praised for the brilliant gacha wizards that work there.
can give your short keeper a vacation and drop Verena off to daycare.